Hi everybody, welcome to Baking Nicky. In this video, I'm going to share with you my Diplomat Cream recipe. And this is a multi-purpose cream that you're going to love and use in many of your desserts. So here are all the ingredients that we're going to be using for this recipe. And let's get started. So I'm starting off by scalding the milk. This is whole milk that I'm gonna infuse with some vanilla, and this is the key flavor for this cream. So I want to use the real deal, and I have some fresh vanilla beans that I just divide in half and try to get as many seeds out as possible using the back of the knife. We're gonna dump both the seeds and the beans into the milk. Let's get that last bit out. And we're gonna just dump the whole thing in and bring this all to the stove and start simmering over a gentle heat for about 4 to 5 minutes until it comes to a full boil. And while that's going, I'm gonna prepare the base of my custard, and that is 2 egg yolks, some sugar, and cornstarch. And by all means, keep those egg whites. They make a great omelette for breakfast the next day. So I'm gonna start by just combining the egg yolks and the sugar. And you don't need a mixer for this. You can just use a whisk and just beat them until the sugar has roughly dissolved. And when that is ready, then you can add the cornstarch and just stir to combine. And ideally, you want this as pale as I'm showing here. This is a very frothy structure, very airy, and this means we have a good base for our custard. So my milk is ready to be incorporated to this custard base, and for that I'm just removing this beautiful vanilla bean. The milk is super hot, so I'm adding it very, very slowly and very carefully, especially at the beginning, because you want to avoid the eggs becoming too hot too quickly and curdling the whole thing. So once you have enough milk in there, you can just dump it all in one go. Once you've added all your milk, then your custard is ready to be fully cooked. So we have to put this back in the heat. I'm gonna use the exact same pot that I use for the milk, just because I don't want any extra dishes. And if you're worried about any of the burned milk bits or milk skin, don't worry, we're gonna pass this through a sieve later. So you can stick with the whisk, but I actually like to switch to a wooden spoon. And mainly this is because you can check when your custard is ready. If it coats the back of the spoon and you can draw your finger through the spoon and it holds its shape, then that means the custard is ready. So you want to be stirring this constantly. I do prepare my gelatin while this is going. This only takes a few seconds. You just put your gelatin leaves in some cold water and let that sit while your custard fully cooks, like I'm showing here. So once the custard is done, we take it off the heat, we grab our gelatin, and we're ready to combine the two. And as you may have noticed, I switched back to my whisk because I'm going to incorporate something, and that means I want to be very thorough. So I'm squeezing all the excess water off of the gelatin, and it should be very nice and soft and flexible. And you want to do this while the custard is warm because the heat is gonna help dissolve this gelatin. And just to double check that we don't have any nasty textures in our custard, we're gonna pass this through a sieve. And this also ensures that we don't have any traces of gelatin. If you didn't mix it well enough, it will show in the bits that are left behind in the sieve. And we're not quite ready with this, Just to add a little bit of richness as well as structure, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of unsalted butter. And I want to do this while the custard is still warm so that it melts it very nicely. And this is ready to go in the fridge. It has to set for the gelatin to do its work. And a little trick here with any custard, you want to cover it right on top with some cling film, which means that no surface will be in contact with air, and this prevents any skin forming on top of your custard. Once we're happy with that, you can put this in the fridge for about 1 hour for it to set and cool completely. So here's my chilled version, and I'm carefully removing the cling film, and I want to show you what that looks like because textures are very important at this point. You have to make sure that your custard is fully set like the one I'm showing here, and thanks to the gelatin you can see that it has a very different texture than it was when it was warm. And before I can add my whipped cream, I need to beat this again to sort of bring it to be around the same textures. So I've whipped my whipping cream to medium to stiff peaks so that I'm able to fold it into my custard mix. And I'm gonna do this in folding motions to make sure I don't lose any of the beautiful air that I've incorporated in the whipped cream. And this is the beauty of the Diplomat Cream. The goal is to have a custard taste, but lighter than the custard. And the whipped cream really helps us achieve this. The gelatin helps us achieve a piping texture, so you can use this as a sort of frosting, filling, and of course I have to show you how well this pipes and holds its shape. Look at that. I love using this as an eclair filling and also to make fruit tarts. I promise you, you're gonna love this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time with more content.